Hello Leo, this is Victoria from Mindful Bamboo and I'm here with your July tarot forecast. As always, we'll be looking at your love situation, your career, and we'll get you some guidance from the universe on how to utilize the energies of the month. And then I'll post some messages from a person of interest to yourself. At the beginning, I will start with an oracle deck to get you some guidance of what's important to pay attention to, or maybe some extra bit of background that you can use for your highest good. Let's see what we have for Leo. We do have your season starting in the month of July, so happy birthday, Leo, especially if your birthday is in July. It's very interesting months. Heading to the Lion's Gate, which is the 8/8 date, so the August the 8th is the Lion's Gate, and it's called that way. One of the reasons it's called that way, the main reason actually, is because it's in Leo season. So, and we have a leg up. It's a fellow bear. A fellow bear for the Leo. I am gonna use the book and read the message, but yeah, generally I think it's pretty clear that at this point there is someone out there who is supposed to give you a leg up in whatever it is you're pursuing. You've come to a point where going it alone is no longer optimal for you. Life has a way of presenting you with the perfect people to align with, who can give you a leg up during this next phase of your journey. Help comes to you in all the areas of your life where you need a boost. The trick is to accept that aid so freely given. When you embrace interdependence, allowing teamwork and independence to commingle, miracles happen. Now is such a time, right? So it's important to have healthy attitude towards it on both sides of the spectrum, right? Be able to accept help, because a lot of us actually aren't very good about asking for help or accepting help that has been offered to us. But on the other spectrum, it's not to feel like that if you are asking for help, that it means that you are less, that it's like it says something bad about you not trying hard enough or something, right? Like, it's removing those criteria so that you're staying in that healthy interdependence vibration. And if you like, you can even and it's actually true, you can even think about it from the perspective of, because we're talking about interdependence, we're talking about synergy, that you are actually helping that person in a certain way too. They are learning something important for their path. They are figuring things out for their own life, something that is really valuable to them at that point, through that collaboration, through that help that they're providing you. So ultimately, both of you are getting something out of it, if you want to treat it that way, even if it's energetically. Okay, let's get to tarot. Let's see, I've got the Tarot of Mystical Moments with me today. Let's see what we have for Leo for the month of July. Of course, this is a reading for Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus, and feel free to check out other readings for other placements. Whichever one you're watching this for, this is part of the message, and it's important to get ideally all four, or at least to scan through the titles. Whichever title you're drawn to, it's probably something relevant for you there. Astrologers like to say that we all have all the signs in our chart, right? So it's just a matter of what kind of placement is that. So, for example, speaking of Leo, I don't have Leo among my personal plans. I have something called the blue moon in Leo. That's the only thing, and that's like on the periphery of relevance towards like my main areas of life, but I still have it, right? You cannot say that I don't. I have one of the houses ruled by Leo, so basically it's, there's no reason why a Leo reading would not be relevant to me, even though technically I don't have Leo placements. Okay, so we have, for your love situation, we have King of Swords in reverse, Nine of Cups, Page of Swords. For your career, we have Eight of Pentacles, A very direct career card. Ace of Cups, but I love butterflies in both of them. Oh, this was a card with exclamation. The Fool. Beautiful. And then for the advice, we have Five of Pentacles, Eight of Swords, cages in both, it's interesting. Ten of Wands, wow. Wow. Bottom of the deck, Justice. So some kind of a justice is being served, some sort of karmic payoff is being served during this time, right? And depending, of course, on how you've been handling your life, it can look like a positive or a negative experience. I'm getting for some of you, it will definitely be positive. For others, maybe not so much. But you know, ultimately, you're learning something important. So, and there's nothing you can do about it anyway. So you can treat it that way, as you know, the divine intervention that again is pointing you towards important things in your situation. Okay, so let's see. I'm getting that this month for you, the July, is gonna be like a preparation month. Like the major changes are gonna be happening in the month of August. But this is a very important part, like a prerequisite to those changes happening. So it's important that you do approach certain situations, relationships, settings in a conscious way, you know, so you can handle those situations accordingly. It's almost like it's an entry test, so that the universe is trying to see whether you are ready for that big boy change in the month of August. If you pass this, you're in. If not, then maybe it's too soon for you and you're gonna go through another cycle on the same level. So it's your choice, really. And speaking of choices, we have Nine of Cups here in your relationship reading, which again, I don't see much as a relationship reading per se with another person. It's more like you're figuring out your own identity and where you want to go next, right? What kind of aspirations you have, are you going to be able to pull it off, right? How does the external surrounding correspond to your inner desires and feelings? And we actually have this event, especially, well, actually throughout the months. We have, July is a big month astrologically. The main highlights, the 3rd and the 4th of July, where we have full moon and in Capricorn and the Sirius Gateway. And then on the 17th, we have a few more events, and the biggest one is, of course, changing of the lunar nodes to Aries and Libra, respectively, as North and South node, respectively. And that will trigger a lot of changes, and it will, more importantly, it will push us towards new questions that maybe we haven't asked before. And the main one, both for that axis and also for this full moon, is about matching your desires and needs and wants with the outside world, and seeing how the logic doesn't always win, hence it's in reverse, right? It's not always that you can use an analytical approach or quantity turning into quality approach, right? It's very old school. It's the physics of mechanics, right? It's not quantum physics. And we're now living in a very different world, right? Where these rules may not apply anymore. So it's you kind of like setting a new scene for yourself, where you want to go from here with this knowledge, with this experience, with how the world is around you. Very interesting. For your career space, we have Eight of Pentacles, Ace of Cups, and the Fool. So yeah, like I was saying, I noticed the butterflies in both of these cards. It's pretty significant in my opinion. And what I see here, especially with her painting the wing here, is that what you're pursuing now, what you're asked to pursue, is something very creative that has to have a connection with your heart space. So if you've been in a job, in a 3D job with like a corporate environment, or I mean, corporate environment can actually relate to your heart space, right? So it's really a matter of whether it was a choice because it gave you income, or a respectful title, or some other benefits, or like, I don't know, good medical insurance. Could be, why not? For some people it's important. Or it was a calling of the heart, and that's really something you are passionate about, you believe in, and if you had a chance, you would continue doing for the rest of your life, right? It's a very interesting way of assessing your career, right? Are you happy to do it for the rest of your life the way it is? Or it's just a passing matter of like, yeah, I'm still figuring things out, but for now this is good enough, right? So very soon it may not be good enough, because what you're being again pushed towards is following a new unexpected path that maybe you didn't have much faith in before, or you didn't seriously consider it for yourself. And sorry guys, had to check something. Yes, this is the way, right? This is the potential. Your world can be bright and beautiful, and look at the butterflies in this cup, right? It's the outpouring of your love potential into the world, and look how beautiful it is, and immediately makes the world a brighter, happier place. That's the potential you have, but you need to take a leap of faith, where it may not translate into the benefits you're looking for, or not right away anyway, right? That's part of the faith, where you're going for it, whether it's bringing you the result immediately or not yet, whether it's a longer term investment, let's put it that way. And it doesn't mean that you necessarily have to quit your job tomorrow and, you know, stay without any income at all, right? Leave yourself hanging like that. But it means that at least effort is needed in the direction of this loving choice, of this creative artistic choice, right? So that you can make it happen, so that if not tomorrow, then like I was saying, it's a preparation month anyway, then maybe in August it can happen, right? And then with the advice, we have a lot of cages and burdens here. So what I'm getting is that you've been sitting in a cage long enough, and it's too small for you by now, right? Like you can't do it anymore. And again, for some, with this card, I was actually getting it in somebody else's reading, that I like that it's roses, but it's still 10 of Wands, and it's still a burden for her. Look at her back, right? It's not like, the roses look beautiful, but the bottom line is it's too heavy and it's bothering her, right? It's not good, it's not okay, even though it may look nice from the distance, if you don't pay attention to the girl's back and don't think about how much pain it inflicts, or they inflict, right? So these are all aspects of you either being in a cage yourself, or trying to hide, or to stay safe and to hide what is important to you, what you treasure, in a cage, so that nobody can mess with it. That's what I'm hearing, right? Which is okay for a while if you're in a certain situation in life where that's relevant, that's important to stay safe, right? It's like a self-defense mechanism, but it's not acceptable to have it functioning as a default mode, like always, you know. It deprives you of very important life experiences, of actual experiencing joy and connection with others. Remember, we had that card for your oracle message, a leg up, right? It's going to be really hard to see the positive aspect of that help, of that support, of that collaboration if you're in the 5 of Pentacles energy, right? So it's really important to start looking up to the sky and relieving yourself of that cage that you've been in, right? And then you will not be threatened by another person approaching you with help, but you'll actually see new opportunities where, like the card was saying, maybe you cannot escape from the cage by yourself, just on your own merit, just with your own resources. But this person's knowledge or experience or resources is exactly what you need to get you there. Okay, messages from your person of interest to yourself. Let's get some messages for Leo. Eight of Cups in reverse. Please clarify. Ooh. And 6 of Wands. I don't know why they're... Anyways, clarified. Yeah, so your person is figuring something out for themselves. They are deciding whether to stay or to go. I'm hearing that it's not about your relationship per se, it's more about their their living conditions, their life situation in general. It's a tough choice for them because it's hard to leave because it's something that they've lived with for a long time and it seems familiar. It's hard to stay because they feel like there is something bigger and better out there for them, right? So it's like this, it's a matter of courage and seeing beyond what is right in front of you that they're contemplating. So the message they want to deliver to you is they are trying to get to the part where they feel they can get into the success state where you can be proud of them, where it's not just like between you two in a private conversation, but it's out there in the public, that they've accomplished something, that they've made something of themselves, that they are at the point where they can actually share their success in the public, and that will be inspiring, that will be useful for other people. That's the point that they're trying to get to. It may take a minute, but and it's actually, we see the full moon in this card. This moon is gonna illuminate to them like why it's important to walk away from certain things. If not leave the situation altogether, at least leave behind certain habits, certain communication patterns, not to stay in the same cycle, but to keep that personal growth, right? To keep ascending, to keep to give themselves a chance, even. I'm getting interesting. Okay, I hope this has been useful for you, Leo. Thank you so much for joining me today. I love you guys, and I'll be back with more readings very soon. Bye, everyone.